Hello everyone, in this video we'll talk about nutrition in animals. So let's start with it. In the last class we discussed that we have 5 steps of nutrition and these steps are ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation and egestion. In the first step, which is the ingestion, in this we simply take the food inside the mouth with the help of our hands. So this is all about the ingestion. Now in this video we'll talk about the digestion, the second step of nutrition. This step is very much in detail because here we have to digest the 3 very important nutrients: carbohydrates, proteins and fats. So let's start with it. When the food enters the mouth cavity, we have 3 things there which helps in the digestion. First are the teeth, second is the tongue, and the third is salivary gland. Third is the salivary gland. So let's talk about these 3 things functions so that we can understand it in a better way. First are the teeth. It helps in the cutting and grinding of the food. Cutting and grinding of the food. That is why it helps in the physical digestion, where it is using the physical forces to cut down the food. Right? Now, the second is the tongue. It helps in the mixing of food with the saliva. It helps in the mixing of food with the saliva so that it can moisten the food. Now, next is the salivary gland. This gland is very important. It produces an enzyme. That enzyme is called salivary amylase. This enzyme is called salivary amylase. Now this enzyme helps in the breakdown of starch into sugars. Starch into sugars. Starch is a complex carbohydrate and sugars are the simple carbohydrate. Right? Now from the mouth cavity, the food enters. The slightly digested food enters the stomach by using a small tube which is called esophagus. This esophagus is also known as food pipe. Now let's talk about this esophagus a little bit. Now this esophagus, it follows a movement which is called peristaltic movement. Which helps in the pushing of the food to the stomach. Now in the relaxation stage, when there is no food, it looks like this. But when there is food, it looks like this. These are the movement of the esophagus. Suppose this is the food globule. These movements help in the pushing of the food in the downward direction like this. So that it can reaches the stomach. This is the stomach and this is the food pipe. Now if we talk about the official definition of peristaltic movement, it is nothing but the contraction and relaxation of the food pipe. It is the contraction and relaxation of food pipe. Now after this peristaltic movement, the food enters the stomach. Stomach is a J-shaped organ. It is a J-shaped organ. This J-shaped structure is Very important, it is present on the left side of the abdomen, and the food stays there for around 3 hours for the proper digestion. Now, these walls of the stomach, these are the walls of the stomach. These walls of stomach produces 3 very important secretions. These secretions are, very first, HCl acid, which is hydrochloric acid. Now next, mucus, and the third is pepsin. So let's talk about these 3 one by one. First of all, this is hydrochloric acid. It helps in the killing of bacteria which may enter through the food. It helps in killing of the bacteria. Second function of HCl is it makes the medium of the food acidic. Makes the medium acidic. Now second is the mucus. Mucus is very important because it is preventing the HCl from damaging its own wall, because HCl is very toxic for any wall or any surface. So mucus helps in protecting the stomach wall from its own secretion, which is the HCl. Right? Now third is the pepsin. Pepsin is an enzyme. It only activates when the medium is acidic. It only activates when the medium is acidic. Now what is the function of pepsin? Pepsin helps in the breakdown of proteins. It helps in the breakdown of proteins. This is the function of pepsin. It helps in the digestion of proteins. Now, after the digestion of the stomach, after the 3 hours of digestion in the stomach, the food enters the small intestine. Food enters the small intestine. This small intestine is 6.5 meters long in adults, and its length, this length depends on certain factors. Now what are these factors? If an animal is herbivores, they'll be eating plant products, and plant products have cellulose in them because the cellulose made the cell wall of the plant products, and cellulose is very difficult to digest. It is very difficult to digest. So that is why herbivores have longer small intestine. Now if we talk about the carnivores, these animals eat meat only, and meat does not have cellulose, so their small intestine is shorter as compared to the herbivores. Right? This is about the length of the small intestine. But when the food enters the small intestine, it receives its secretion from 2 other organs, 2 other glands, which are liver and pancreas. It receives the secretion from liver and pancreas. Now these 2 secretions are very important, so let's talk about it. Liver secretes bile juice, or we can simply call it, it secretes bile. It is a yellow colored fluid. It is yellow colored fluid. This fluid makes the medium of the food alkaline. It makes the medium alkaline, which is the basic medium, and it has another function. It helps in the emulsification of fats. It helps in the emulsification of fats. Now emulsification means the breakdown of the fat molecules, right? This is the function of bile juice. Now bile juice is secreted by the liver, but it is stored in a pouch like structure which is called gallbladder. Right? Now let's talk about the pancreas, which is the other gland, which is an accessory gland. It is an helping gland. This pancreas secretes a pancreatic juice. This pancreatic juice, it works only in alkaline medium. It only works in alkaline medium. Right? Now this pancreatic juice also releases 3 secretions. It has 3 secretions. The very first is pancreatic amylase. Pancreatic amylase. This pancreatic amylase helps in the breakdown of carbohydrates. Further, it helps in the further breakdown of carbohydrates. Now second enzyme it releases is trypsin. Trypsin helps in the breakdown of proteins. So it helps in the further breakdown of proteins. Now third secretion is lipase. Lipase helps in the breakdown of the fat molecules. It helps in the breakdown of fat molecules. This is all about the digestion in human beings. I hope you understand this topic. If you have any question, you can leave a comment. Thank you so much for today and have a great day.